morning, top performers. And so this is our Austin group. We just had an amazing time 2 weeks ago. And I just love being with you guys and taking our picture out on the porch and everything. And remember that one guy that came in then, you know, he was like a worker, I guess, at the restaurant, but I invited him into the seminar, and I said, this isn't like just any regular seminar. Like, this is about how life plays and have it play for you. And we just had a riot. We even talked a little about when we some subject, man, everybody really peaked up, especially when we got on the subject of sex. So that was all fun and you know, fantastic memories. And we're going to make memories today too. This is going to be a awesome session for us that you're going to just. Eddie wants to be the presenter. Wow. Eddie, just go ahead and talk. I have all you guys right now on to where you can talk. I'd ask you to mute yourself. But Eddie, do you have something to share with us? Or Edie? Maybe I think it's Edie. Do you have something to share? Hey, there she is. Hey, what's going on? Can you hear me? Oh, I can't hear you. Yeah, Edie, we can't hear you. And you're, okay, go ahead, now talk.
Okay, I'm just tweaking some things so that I can hear you clearly. Thank you.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, okay, good. Yeah, you got me now. And again, everybody, you can just jump in, and this is just going to be another amazing session for us that we're going to go through really just 3 things to understand on how life plays, and that it's just going to help you better with your understanding of life, why you're here, and really get you more deliberate and purposeful in order to really create the things that you want in your life. And we're also going to then talk about some strategic thinking and to planning your month. So I sent out a copy of Prioritizing Your Month. That actually comes with the time management system that I have. So if any of you are interested in a time management system that would have this monthly planning in it, that has every day, it's a hard copy. And so if you do have questions, you can ask me about that and the cost and all that detail, your investment on it. But it typically will save you at least 3 weeks a year and increase the amount of time that you invest in your high payoff activities. And so it's what I use. If you notice that our live seminars, that I had that little black book, well, that little black book is basically where I manage all of my time. And let's see, somebody else wanted to be the presenter again. I don't know who that is, but no, you can't be the presenter. The anchors is, but you can speak anytime, and so just go in and speak. And again, if someone is having problems with hearing or whatever technical problems, that I actually am recording this, and so if you can't hear me right now or whatever, that you can go ahead and I don't know how you'd know that if you can't hear me right now. But you could go ahead and know that you can just watch the recording later on. But there's nothing like live, and for you to be live on the phone right now, that I welcome all of you in, and we got a full house here, and it's just awesome. All your mics, again, are on. Put yourself on mute, but interject at any time. And, okay, good now. Okay, so Erica is down. That's great. And so the first thing I want to start out with is, hey, share with us some really great things that have happened out of the blue in the past couple of weeks. And so who wants to share? Go ahead. What happened great for you guys? Someone talk.
Well, my listing that I've been having for about 2 months with no action on it had 3 offers within 3 days. So got it under contract and closed at the end of the month.
Oh, isn't that great, Lance? Huh? That is just fantastic. Congratulations. Yeah. And so, again, don't be thinking this is, by coincidence or accident or whatever. You create this, and that cooperative components come around, and they rally together, and they bring you what you want. It's like you have a concierge in the sky at a Four Seasons hotel. Four Seasons is just, or a Ritz-Carlton, either one of those are just awesome hotels. And imagine that you have this concierge, but it's in the sky, if you will. We all came from non-physical to physical, and we're going to go back to non-physical, and it's all good. It's no big deal. There's nothing to get upset about. There is no death. And so we, with the power of our thoughts, can actually make circumstances, events happen. And so here, for, I think you said 3 months that you hadn't, gotten any responses on it. And all of a sudden you have 3 responses, and you're going to close at the end of the month. So that's just awesome. Anybody else want to share with us an out of the blue experience that happened to you?
Sure, I'll go for it. Oh.
Erica, go ahead.
All right. So I had this buyer that, I don't know, we kind of talked about it a couple weeks ago, and we were talking about these buyers that nobody wants, and you're not harmonious and all these different things. We put in literally 13 different offers on a property, and we finally got one accepted.
Yoo-hoo! That's fantastic. Congratulations. And just love that. Really, everybody can become harmonious to you, even your relatives. And, remember my story about Sledge Killian, my father-in-law, and that hell, if I can have him be harmonious with me, that you can have anybody be harmonious with you and get what you want. Let's see, somebody else I think came in and wanted to share something.
Yes, Hank, this is Edie Phillips.
Hi, Edie.
Hi, I submitted a proposal. Well, actually, let me go back just a little bit. I received an email out of the blue, and it was talking about a school district here in the area that we're looking for presenters for their family conference. So I just thought, well, home ownership, independent school district, I don't know if they would accept my proposal. And lo and behold, they did, and I get to present about home ownership for 2 hours, 2 sessions per day. So that was exciting.
Oh, that's fantastic. And see, and we're going to talk about this week and next week, but it's about that you either have allowing thoughts or resistant thoughts. And so the initial thought was, hey, I want to go do this, and I got this, God sent me this email about this great opportunity, and now it's up to us to not be resistant to it, because we have resistance like, oh, the school wouldn't do that, and it's got to be illegal, or, it's not within their regulation or whatever, and we make all this stuff up, and then by the time if we even submit the proposal, we're in such a, they're not going to accept it, that then you're right, you get what you think about. And so, and I'd all of you write that down. You get what you think about, or better yet, I get what I think about. I get what I think about. So start paying attention to what you think about. And yesterday I presented a great opportunity for an agent, and on recruiting, and most of us are EXP agents, to include myself, and so those EXP people who I was talking to, I was talking about recruiting, and I said, hey, here's a solution to how to get these 4 Keller Williams people, because they're doing, they're getting 50% for crappy leads, and 1 out of 100, and, it's just no good for them. And so this person just continued to respond back on why it wouldn't work. And I finally stopped the person, and I said, would you stop fighting for your lack and limitation, and instead, why don't you just go do this? And all of a sudden a light bulb went off, and he realized, yeah, all I've been doing is talking about what I didn't want, about why it's not going to work, why I won't do it. So Erica, it's just, or Edie, excuse me, that it's just awesome that, you know, you recognize, hey, I have some of these thoughts about, oh, I wonder if they'll do it. And then you said, forget that this is what I want. I'm going to submit it. And you submitted it. And it's an amazing opportunity. And not to get too much into this, but just know that I have a kind of a package deal that you can offer, like schools. And so, for example, that you could give maybe 10% of your commission to the school or to the parents association, that you could get other vendors to help you, and mortgage companies. In fact, speaking of that, remember we have Columbus Capital Lending, and they help pay for all this, and your assessment they paid for, and my time in the hotel, and the food, and all the stuff that happened, you know, previously. And so we thank Columbus Capital Lending for that. And but you could go to one of those, you know, loan officers that you have met, and say, hey, would you be able to give some type of discount? Because legally that they can give, like, you know, whatever, if it's a group thing, like $500 off a mortgage. So the point is, and then you can get insurance people, et cetera. Title's the only one that pretty much you can't get any money off. But and speaking of title, that PSS title, if you'll recall that Robin, not in this Top Performers, but in Fort Worth, that Robin used PSS title because no other title company could give title to this one deal she had. And not only was she able to get title, but they saved $50,000. And the way they did that, it was tied to the property, this $50,000 note, and it actually shouldn't have been tied to the property, so they weren't liable for that $50,000. So we thank Columbus Capital Lending, PSS Title, and I would suggest that you use both of them. And then Advanced Rewards Funding. And so remember, we have them in order to, if you want to get paid up front on a buy-sell agreement where you have a contract, you can get paid up front, get $3,000 right now, and it would only cost you $250. So any questions about how to contact any of those three of our vendors, let me know. But back to Edie. Edie, just amazing on way to allow that in, and now you have some more ideas on how you could make this even better and have other vendors in there so that the teachers could have, you can call it a teacher's program or a parent's program, whoever you're talking to, and that you can actually give them these discounts where they could save thousands of dollars because of using you. Because there's always other real estate agents, but there's not you along with the whole team, and so you could belong the whole team on that. And so that's just fantastic. One other thing that maybe some of you aren't aware of, but what came out of the blue in your email this morning is an amazing opportunity that I just got permission from Agent Wealth Network, who they have a leads program that is the best leads program. It's been operating for about 2 years. They've had amazing success in it. And when I say that, there's a 52% connection rate. In other words, on these leads that you would be provided 52, half the time, more than half the time, you're going to actually connect with these leads. And then 18% of the time, you're going to close on these leads. So it's about 1 out of 5 leads that you get. And the sweet spot is $300,000 to $350,000 homes. And so I've sent you an email with details on that. It's kind of first come, first serve, and I'll give you more details if you respond and you have an interest. The main responsibility on your part, you'll be able to easily make $9,000 a month on this. The issue has been agents have been making so much money that they get lazy, and so they basically have fired a bunch of agents, and that's why we have this opportunity in Austin to be able to go in, and basically all you need to do is you need to, on every lead, you'll get 3 leads a week, and on every lead, every day, you have to call them, text them, and email them. until they say, yes, I want to do business, or no. I don't know if you know it, but a closing, over 80% of closings happen between the 5th and the 12th contact. So if you call one person one time and you think that's going to do anything, whether it's with a prospect in real estate business or a prospect of an agent inviting them into EXP and that amazing opportunity, that you're not in the real world. The real world is that closings take at least 5 to 12 touches before you actually get that client and then are able to close with that client. So every week you're going to get those 3, and so which means, you know, you'd be making 9 touches a day, and then the next week you'd be making 18 touches a day. But some of the ones that, you know, you're going to close within a couple of weeks, you'll have a client, and for, you know, about $300,000, whatever. All the details on that, again, is in my email, but know that that's another amazing opportunity for all of us. So all of you on the phone have just received an out-of-the-blue opportunity. If you already have too much business, if you're call reluctant, whatever, please don't sign up, because we'll actually keep a watch on you, and if you don't have at least 10% closings, that we have to let you go, and you can't be part of the program. But it's an amazing opportunity to make $9,000 a month, and pretty easy on you know, just doing those things. And I guess just one last comment, that the technology on this is so incredible. And so what happens, you know that usually when you get a lead, you have to respond in 30 seconds. Well, in less than 30 seconds, that when that lead comes in, without you doing anything, this will all be electronic, they will text that client on your behalf with your telephone number. They will email that client on your behalf with your email, and they'll leave a voicemail with your voice. And I don't know if you're familiar with Fly Dial, but that's where all of a sudden you look at your phone and you have a call and you think, I don't remember, you know, you have a voicemail and you say, I don't remember anybody calling. Well, that's because it goes through your texting system and it actually just leaves a voicemail. And so you'll have a pre-recorded generic kind of voicemail that you'll leave there. And so it's just, again, an amazing opportunity, and training is next Monday, 10 to 12. And so if you're interested, you need to send me today an email about what markets you have. And we had a question of, like, if you're in Waco, put whatever markets you're in, and we'll take a look at it and do an analysis on it. And if it looks like we'll get a good return on investment, we'll go ahead and do that. Okay, so any questions about that before we move on? Are you excited about that opportunity? Come on, you guys. Somebody say, yeah. I've already heard about 5 people respond. Yes, 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 yes. And that's excellent, and I love that response on that. Yes, it's yes. And so just think to yourself, you know, I'm going to make $9,000 more a month now. Yes. And I just love that, and that's the opportunities and the out-of-the-blue opportunities that come. And I'm sharing with you that, I mean, this doesn't come, it has to be live training, and they only do it like once a month, and in different cities all over the United States. And again, I travel with them in order to do this. And so here we have this, you know, just great opportunity to be able to have that for you. That it came yesterday where they said, hey, Austin is going to open up, and that's why I was able to email you today with this amazing opportunity. So it's really fantastic, and I'm happy for all of us to be able to participate in that. All right, so with that, let us move forward, and this is about, today is going to be about prioritizing your life, or someone else will. And so we've all experienced that, where we're not deliberate and intentional, and pretty soon we have our clients managing us, and we're, you know, running around ragged all weekends and nights and whatever, and we don't have a personal life. And so I'm going to help you today to really get some balance in your life, to be able to save time every week and to be more focused on your high payoff activities. And let's see, I need to get my, there we go. And so our agenda, we're going to look at the 3 principles of life. And as usual, we haven't been on any agenda, and so I just love that, it just all flows to me on the perfect words for you to be able to accept with your minds and your hearts and your souls. So I've invited like all your angels here, and for you to just have open minds and hearts on the information that I share with you today. We're going to look at strategic thinking and how to prioritize your life, and specifically today we're going to look at monthly planning. And again, you should have printed out those sheets that I sent you. If you didn't, it's okay. Just get a piece of paper and start writing down on what we go through, because you're going to start seeing that it usually takes me about 2 hours each month to plan my month. But I feel so grounded, and I am a master at time management because of it. And so if you're looking to become a master of time management, if you want to be grounded and in full control of your life, that this is going to be some real practical exercises for you in order to do so. We're going to look at what our mission and purpose is in life, the different areas of our life, and then we're going to prioritize both our personal and our business lives today. So this is going to be a very hands-on session, and I'm assuming we should be done, in about an hour or so. So just kind of relax, sit back, and just allow this knowledge and information to just flow into you. And the first thing, Captain Philip wanted you to know he's unable to be on the call. Okay. Thank you. And so again, it's recorded. You could just let Philip know that this is recorded. And so, so we're going to discuss the 3 laws first of the universe. And so these are really, as you start thinking about these laws, you're going to start thinking just the way life plays, if you will. Remember, I don't use the word work very often because it's a low vibration, and instead I like play. And play is just a lot more fun, isn't it? Yeah. And so the 3 laws of the universe, and you'll see that they have a great impact and can answer many questions that you've probably had about life or yourself. And the first one is that you're a leading edge, deliberate creator. Now, all of us were born leading edge creators. We basically were taught not to be very deliberate. We were taught about things happen, and life is out of our control sometimes, and all this stuff. And it's just all nonsense that we control our lives, and the part that we think we aren't, we actually are. A great example of that is my miraculous car experience, where I totaled my body and my car last August. And the reason why that happened is I've been asking for some really just incredible opportunities, but I was going so fast in life that I was running by these amazing opportunities. So because I had my miraculous car experience, that it slowed me down enough to know about and learn about and then be a part of the EXP experience. And as you know, for most of us, again on the phone, that in Texas, that we now have surpassed, we have 1,001 agents that we have recruited in EXP in Texas, and we're just booming and going. And I got people in Salt Lake City joining, and in all the different cities, within Texas. I mean, it's just such exciting times. I have a guy talking to in Canada that this is really just the new way of doing business. It's remarkable. So back to this leading edge creator. So what does this imply? Well, first let's look at what it doesn't imply. That, are you here, like, why are you here? And so when you ask, why are you here, that, is it because I have to pay off some debt, or I have some karma or something like that? No, it's none of that. Or is it I have to earn myself into a place that most of us call heaven? And none of that is happening. We are here on a joyride, okay, but most of us haven't been on this joyride until now, that we're here on this joyride to deliberately create. to identify, to rub up against this contrast, the things we don't like, the things that have hurt us, the things that, went south on us, the deals that went bad, that we have all of that contrast, so it bursts these new ideas so that we can start proclaiming and demanding and commanding on here's what I want. I want more money. I want more abundance. I have a great quote on that, in fact, that I just saw and I put into my monthly planning, in fact. But the more I make, the more I can give. And so again, it just helps you to lift yourself from these old beliefs. And we talked last time about our beliefs, and we have these limiting beliefs, and some of them are really deep and buried, and we're not even aware of them. And so we can trump them by start stating what it is. And so a lot of us have this thing like money is bad or something, and money is good, money equals freedom, money gives us more variety and choices. And so I'd like you to write down, the more I make, the more I can give. And just what a great way, of doing it, that in real estate, that, with EXP, I say, I put the fun and excitement back into real estate. And again, it just might be another sentence for you to write down, for you to recognize, yeah, this is fun, man. These are all different opportunities that I'm just slowly growing as I recruit agents, one every couple months, whatever. It's no big deal. We're in no hurry. There's everlasting life, okay? So there's no ending. And so we don't have to be in a hurry, but we know that within, 5 years or whatever, we're going to be making all, $250,000 or way more than that. Because of that. And so we're the leading edge creators. So really just recognize that that's what you are. It takes all this questioning about what are you here for, and, or did you do something bad in a past life or whatever. Forget all that stuff. You're here to create and have a good time doing it. Amen? Absolutely. The second law is, and just the way life plays, is only well-being flows to us. And so what does this imply? This implies that there's no force that is working against any of you, any of us. There is no force at all that is working against us. So there's no devil trying to do. The only devil that we could have, and remember, I'm an ordained minister, and back in Christ's time, it was you're off target. That's what sin meant. It's an archery term, meaning your thinking is off target and you didn't hit the bullseye. And the bullseye, to be clear, what the bullseye is to be thinking about what you want. And that's it. Don't be thinking about what's happening right now, and maybe you're bad health, or you're overweight, or not enough business, or not enough money. You can't be thinking about that, because the more that you think about it, or the bad relationship, the more that you think about that, you're creating sin in that you're off target. You're not hitting that red bullseye there. And so I want you to think about how you're directing your thoughts now into this red bullseye here of thoughts of what you want, thoughts of what you like, thoughts of appreciation. As you start writing down what you appreciate, that and start thinking about what you appreciate, it automatically tells God, tells the universe, I want more of it. And so just know that well-being is flowing to you. Only goodness is flowing to you. And as you recognize that, again, it takes a lot of things, because I bet that most of you, if not all of you, have said something like, something must be working against me, that, the devil's doing, it's the devil's work, or you said, that person doesn't like me, and so, and they're putting ill will on me. I'm sharing with you, nobody has the power to do anything to you unless you allow them to, unless you allow them to affect you negatively. And so just think about, hey, I got my angels that are there and gathering all the things that I want. I have my concierge in the sky. I want this dynamic business, and I have I have a potential of a leads program of making $9,000 that was just dropped into my lap today. I love that, and I don't care whether you do it or not. that just love the idea of that, because then more of this good stuff is going to happen. I love EXP, and if you recruited just one agent so far, or if you're talking to just one agent, just be happy about that and be so appreciative of everything that you have. Like with your health, there are so many good things happening with your health. And quit looking at your wrinkles, and quit looking at your fat and everything else, because all it does is give you more wrinkles and fat. So what you want to do is start saying to yourself, hey, I'm going to be slim, trim, fit. That's how I am, in fact. I'm slim, trim, and fit. And so as you say these things in the present sense of who you are and what you are and the money that you have and the abundance you have and the prosperity that you have, that all these things shall come to you. And then the last one is that cooperative components rendezvous with your thoughts. And this is a powerful statement, because it really explains why you think you're not a deliberate creator. It explains why number one is actually true. But before you heard this, that, see, you used to say, like, well, I didn't create that. Like, let's say a bad deal. I didn't ask for a bad deal. But the fact is that you've had some things that go wrong. It might not even be a deal. It might be a relationship, and it's not going very well. And then once you start thinking about, oh, that relationship isn't going very well, that cooperative components rendezvous around that and say, okay, well, you're thinking about that with your powerful thought, so I'm going to bring you what you're thinking about, and you're thinking about stuff not going very well. And the next thing you know, you walk into a business deal and a real estate deal, and the deal goes south. And you say, I didn't create that. I didn't ask for the deal to go south. But, oh, yes, you did, because you were thinking about the relationship that went south, and then cooperative components go around your thought. So that energy that you are sending out as a signal that we talked about 2 weeks ago, that this energy from your thoughts that you send out, that God immediately responds. There is no judgment at all by God. God is just going to respond and give you what you ask for. Ask and you shall receive. And so I know it's very tempting to just rely on what's happening and what is, what's in front of you, and what you call your reality, okay? What I want you to be is in a vibrational reality and vibrate on the reality of what you want. And I want more business and more money and harmonious relationships and good health. I want to have more fun. I want to play more. I want to laugh more. I want to smile more. And you should see me, by the way. I'm just doing all kinds of arm gestures and everything, and, you know, the anchors and how I am. I mean, I'm getting into this because I am right now just rendezvousing with all that is, and that getting these ideas from all that is you know, this infinite intelligence, and giving me these ideas of the thoughts that's all the thoughts that we need to have, and we can have this joyous ride that we have been asking for. And so it's these cooperative components, and so recognize, and so we could even use different words on this, that it is God that is coming and is always supporting and loving you in anything that you are asking for, that anything that you are thinking about. And so that's why it's so important to make sure that you're thinking about what you want versus the things that you don't want, you don't like, that you're afraid of, okay? And so, you know, people have this fear of not enough money. There's plenty of money. And so if you just stop that fear and just recognize I have plenty of money. So some tips on plenty of money. And I guess today I'm talking a lot of money because money is on some of your minds here. And so these are things to, you know, help you with that. But one thing is to carry around all the time at least $100. And you'll be amazed at how many things, you don't have to buy them, but just say, oh yeah, I could buy this and I could buy that. And then when you see that Bentley or whatever, that nice car that, you know, you're dreaming of, that you can say, hey, you know what, I like that. And so if anything, maybe put a check in your wallet that's made out to you for $1 million and put it in your wallet. And just say, God, I just love being so wealthy. And, you know, I can have that Bentley if I want. I can have that dress. I can have that purse. I can have that, you know, and you just start saying, and the more that you are saying that it's just the law. This is how it works. is that cooperative components are going to come around, and not only are they going to come around and rendezvous with your thoughts, but they're going to start creating that energy into your experience, into matter, M-A-T-T-E-R, into, remember, the scientists have all, agreed now that your thought creates energy that creates matter. Well, that's in essence what this is doing. They just left God out of it. The scientists did. I put God back into it. And that the fact is that cooperative components rendezvous with your thoughts, and then they create these people, these circumstances, these events, this matter, these purses, this money, these leads, this business, that these checks, these wires in your account, that the good health, that it just has to be. And so because whatever that God isn't going to think a different thought for you, however, God is going to give you thoughts about what you're thinking of. And so I don't know if you guys follow me on Facebook, but I just had an amazing insight on Sunday as I'm driving along. And the insight was that when I'm just thinking my own little thoughts, that they're not godly thoughts, and they typically aren't going to get me to where I want. But as I start thinking more about what will be, that what happens is that God literally gives me the next better feeling thought to me. And as long as I'm allowing it and not resisting, like we talked about a little bit earlier, that I can then bring that thought into my consciousness, and now I start getting surrounded by godly thoughts. And so you'll start seeing this world as a beautiful world. You'll start seeing all the people as beautiful people. You'll start seeing and experiencing miracles in your life like you've never had before, like you've never imagined before. So I want you to think about how that by doing this, and believe me, that God just smiles and loves this, and all the angels are just singing right now, and the harps are playing, and everybody's just going wild there in that non-physical, and they just can't wait to take you to this paradise, this place that most of us would call heaven, is right here, right now in our experience, and we can do it as we start reaching. And just lift up your right hand and just reach up right now, and reach up for that next good feeling thought, and ask and you shall receive. I want the next good feeling thought, and I want you to write that down right now. I ask for the next good feeling thought. And as you reach like that and ask, physically reach like that and ask, and then just bring it in, and bring your hand in to you and put it right into your heart, right into your mind, and your forehead, you put it in, and have that next good feeling thought. And literally you'll start feeling God bumps flow throughout your body. Most people call them goosebumps, but the Hankers calls them God bumps. Okay? So those are the three laws of the universe. Next week, we're going to put all of this together, and we're going to look at the last law that is really needed, if you will, for your understanding in order to take you to all that you want. But these three laws of the universe, you get these down, and everything's going to start becoming, you're going to start living a miraculous life. Amen to that? Let's hear an amen. Come on. And yes! Love it. Okay, so that's the three laws, and yes, a way to be, Zakar. Yeah, yes. And just start flowing with that, and recognize that you're this leading edge creator, that yes, Linda, yes, just say that, and know that you are the creator. That's what you're here for, is to create more. To create more what? And so I'm going to share with you, and I would write this down, that as you being a deliberate creator, how does that help God and the whole world and everything? Is because as you become a deliberate creator, that you're going to create three things. And so there's a purpose that we're going to get to a little bit later here, a purpose in your life. But that purpose is for you to have more growth. Okay, so the first reason is to grow, to expand all that is. And so as you have these new thoughts, that as you have, for example, for those of you with children, the love of your children, you have birthed this beautiful love that's a love that has never been before. And that expands all that is. And God is happy and smiles at that because the mantra for God is more. Okay, and so you're able to do that growth, and you do that whether you're a deliberate creator or not. But why not you have fun too? Instead of the whole universe, God, and all the angels having fun, why don't you experience the fun too instead of being resistance to the life in this beautiful world, that to be in an allowing state. And so as you are this deliberate creator, that so you generate more growth, then the other thing that you're here for is to create more freedom. So write down growth and then write down freedom. You're here to express more freedom. Just look at the history of life and how people have been freed. How people have been freed from so many different things, from whether it's freedom from money, where the middle class, more and more of the world, there's less poor people than there ever have been. There's far more people in the middle class, if you will, that can have a decent, a nice life in the middle class, that those are growing all the time. The freedom from slavery, the freedom from, all of us are starting to awaken to realize we're all connected. It doesn't matter what sex we are. It doesn't matter what color we are. It doesn't matter any of that. That we're all connected by this common source, this rope, if you will, this line, this connectivity with God. And we're all together. And in fact, we're more together and the same than really most of us even realize. And so to just honor each other and love each other, and as you do, the more that you give, the more that you'll get back on that loving and being. There's nothing to be guarded about. Stop being guarded. And just try some little things like stop locking your car, stop locking your home. And again, if you think, oh, shit, I'm not doing that, then you're right, don't do it. That, you'll for sure get burglarized. But just stop doing that. I don't lock my condo door because there's nothing to fear. That the only thing is, if I would have thoughts of, oh, someone's going to come in and whatever, and hell, they can come in and have a party with me, and I'm going to be making a little crock pot later on, and it'll all be good. So anyways, those on being a leading edge creator and understanding that you're here for more growth, more freedom, and then the prize of all of this is more joy. And so think of the joyful times in your life. In fact, I want you to write a new story about you and your life. And so start the first 5 years of your life and think of when you had joy. Don't think about the stuff of the abuse and mental and physical abuse or whatever. Just think on, when did I have joy? I can think about skipping on the sidewalk with my dad, who was a really rough, tough, mean and abusive, but I was skipping with him because I was going to the zoo. And I remember that when I was about 4 years old. Okay, 5 to 10, what do I remember? I remember taking my first bus ride with my grandmother. I mean, there was such joy, such liberation to go on a bus and get out of the house, not have to walk, and see these big, huge buildings. This was Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And so, at the time, I thought those were really big skyscrapers. And so but start going through your life and telling the new story. And as you start looking at the joy, so more joy will come to you. So those are the 3 laws of the universe. Being a deliberate creator, that you're expanding all that is, the growth, you're experiencing more freedom, and then you're experiencing more joy. And that's the prize. And then only well-being flows. Only good comes to you. There's nothing fighting against you, working against you, etc. Just well-being. And then know the cooperative components. Rally around your thoughts. And then they start creating your experience and your circumstances. So good stuff. And now we're going to move on to prioritizing your life. And so each month, I'd like you to, if you want to become even a more deliberate creator, that I would strongly suggest that you do monthly planning. You have the sheets of monthly planning in soft copy, and whether or not you have those sheets right now, that I want you to, at least start writing down. This is going to be very hands-on here. the most productive time in your month that you can do. It's where you sit down in the green zone. Remember, I promised you that in week 1, everything we would talk about would be about living in the green zone. How to be thinking about what you want and doing it deliberately. Well, here's literally a systematic, strategic thinking process in order to do that. That it takes about 2 hours per month. I did my monthly planning over the weekend, and you will be amazed at how many things, like I review my past month, and I look at in my, what I call my time, not a Mai Tai. We're not going to sit around drinking Mai Tais right now, but it's called the My Time. And so I go through the month that I just went through, and I look at and see, did anything drop through the cracks? You know, was there a prospect I didn't call? Was there, you know, someone that I called, but, you know, they didn't get back to me? And so it prevents things from sliding through the cracks. That and so during that 2 hours, you start calling it the way you want it. And so remember, I gave you the example on I was coaching with somebody. And by the way, I'm available for coaching. So any of you that are interested in coaching, I can send you a coaching application for that. And but 2 hours, during that 2 hours, that you wanted to have it the way that you want it. So I'm coaching with this one real estate agent yesterday, and all he did was start, you know, continue to fight for his lack and limitation, and telling me why he couldn't do this or why they wouldn't do that, and that, no, you start calling it the way you want it, and then you start telling your new story. That, wow, I love being healthy. So I don't care what your health is currently. You start telling yourself, I love being healthy. I love being wealthy. I love being prosperous. I love being so happy. I love having so much fun. And so the more that you just start telling your new story. I love my upbringing. It got me to this point right now. I love my whole family because they gave me the contrast, or whoever, you know, gave me the contrast to recognize what I didn't want, and it helped me to become a better parent. So, for example, I had an abusive father, and I consider myself the best father in the world now, and he taught me how not to be. That helped me to understand how I wanted to be as a father, and I basically brought up my children that they could have them know that they could be, do, and have anything that they wanted. And the second thing I wanted to bestow onto them is unconditional love. So instead of telling them about unconditional love, I just gave them unconditional love. And I remember, like, my parents would say, oh, you're spoiling that kid, and there's no discipline, da-da-da-da-da. And all 3 of my sons are, like, just amazing now. And it's because they know that there's unconditional love, and they now know how to unconditionally love. And so they have happy lives, happy relationships, great businesses, prosperity, that all that they want. And it's all because of being this deliberate self, and because of your example on who you are to your children will be the same. So you're now pre-paving your day with the Joy Shop. And again, if you don't, and some of you got back to me last time on, if the Joy Shop, if you're just kind of reading it and not really embracing it, I have other Joy Shops. We have a tendency to get a little bored or be thinking about something else, and so email me and I'll send you another Joy Shop if that's the case. And but they're all just good feeling thoughts. Or make your own Joy Shop up now. You're at the point and at the stage now where you can, hey, I'm going to make my own Joy Shop. You can write a book right now. You know, you can do whatever you want right now. That you just say that that's what I want, and then you just trust that God, the cooperative components, will lead you to the path of least resistance, right to everything that you want. And now we're going to look at planning your month. And so you only get it once. So, for example, in June 2017, it's the only time we're going to have this month. So let's make the most of it. And so the first thing is to look at your mission and your purpose. So I'd like you to get that sheet of paper out, and under mission and purpose there. And I want you to write down, what is your purpose? What is your mission? So you could start out, my mission is to have more growth, more freedom, and more joy. Because overall, that's what we're here for, okay? And we're creators, and we're creators of what? That growth, that freedom, and that joy. But you may want to, like, so for example, I'm looking right now, I just flipped to my mission and purpose that is in every month in my time that I help develop. And so under mission purpose, I have to feel good, like what's written there. And then I have to live my soul's life. And so when you can get to the point and have this broader perspective, which all of you have the ability to do, and to just stand back and look at your life and how amazing it has been, and look at your future and all of the prosperity and abundance and happiness that you're going to get in your future, and to look at that and then to recognize that, I mean, this is just an amazing life that I have. And so maybe you want to just write down, my mission and purpose is to feel good. Because the reason, and we'll get more into this next week, but the reason is when you feel good, that means you're living your soul's desire. That means you're doing God's will. And so mission and purpose can be other things, though. And so, you know, there isn't, the only right answer is your answer on what you put on this, but it's important for you to write it down. But it's like the big A to B, that here I am now, where am I going? You know, what is that mission and purpose? And so it could be more practical things. 20 years ago, my practical things was I wanted to have $1 million consulting business. I wanted to have be the best dad. I wanted to be the best husband. I wanted to have the best health. And so that was my mission and purpose. And I became all of those things. And I did that, and then I expanded because we're always on growth. So once you, and I'm sharing with you, once you get your first $1 million, that you want the next million. And so it's all good that you know, it's the journey that's so important. And so you want to enjoy this journey. You want to have fun and lighten up. You don't have to do a lot of work, and you don't have to just, you know, be burnt out in order to have everything that you want. In fact, just the opposite. But we've been taught, oh, you got to work hard and you got to do all this stuff, and so then you think that's the way it is. And I'm sharing with you that that's not how my life is. I have fun, I play, and more than probably anybody, and at the same time, I make lots of money. I have lots of opportunity, and I'm healthy, and everything that I want. And so you too. So write down what your mission and purpose is. And then I'd like you to look at your personal goals to focus on this month. And so let's start with family and home. And so think, in June, what do you want to do? And so, for example, what I did is I looked at my month of June, and then I already had known that my son is getting married in Ireland, and I'm flying like 40 family members over there and stuff, and getting married in Ireland. So one of my family things was that it will be the best wedding with harmonious and fun and happy and joyous people, and I'm just going to have a fantastic time along with everybody else. And so because I think that just yesterday, I got a text from my son, and he goes, Dad, I'm just feeling like this is going to be the best time ever. And you bet. See, because our thoughts literally go into other people's minds, and whether they're in a receptive mode or not, and that's why prayer is so powerful. Why you can pray for a person and believe that you're going to heal them. And I just healed, in fact, my assistant. She had cancer. And so I shared with her on that. She wanted to like go kill all the cancer stuff. And I said, oh, no, don't kill, don't do any work or anything. Have this real fun and have these little love bugs. And so, the little characters, the guy that chomps away at that little game, Pac-Man, so I had her just be this little love. And so it's a heart-shaped Pac-Man, and the heart would just open up and would just consume love into all of those cells, and so she's recovered now, and so everything was just like amazing. She goes, oh my God, that all she just needs a couple chemo because of what the doctor said, but she's already healed, So, anyways, our prayer is thought, our prayer actually can go into other people's minds and whether or not they're receptive in their bodies and, heal them. And so you want to be, and you can be a healer that, you just say, hey, I want to heal this person. But if you whine about it and say, oh my gosh, I have cancer, somebody on my poor, mother has cancer, just awful, she's going, if you do all that stuff, well then you're recognizing there's cancer and you're making it bigger, and so you're not doing them any good. And so back to family and home, think about something good and fun and wonderful. And maybe you want to take a picnic this Saturday with your family. Maybe you want to do something special for your significant other but plan it out. And so family and home, write down something. Financial and career, what do you want to do in June? Hey, I want to allow over $20,000 this month into my personal checking account, okay? Or I want to recruit one agent, or I want to get a referral partner. And remember, it's so important on referral partners. But just identify and just allow these godly thoughts. So ask. Don't be, forcing yourself, hey, what do I want to do? Instead, lighten up, ease up, breathe deeply as we go through this exercise here, through this strategic thinking, and just say, I want godly thoughts, and I want God's thoughts to put on the paper here on what I want to do for my family and home, what I want to do financially for my career. Then look at mental and educational. And so what I would do is I'd say, hey, I'm going to make sure that I listen to Success Unit number 4, Prioritizing Your Life, that I'm going to be sending you this afternoon, that I want to listen to that at least 6 times. And then I'm going to do Success Unit 5, Emotional Intelligence, and I'm going to listen to at least 6 times. And so, and I'm going to go over this, webinar and that, because believe me, that is the more that you can allow this in. When people listen, and some of you have listened a couple times, have been in Top Performers a couple times, and the second time, you'll even get more out of it. So just think about, but if you think, oh, I already know this stuff, or I've already done this stuff before, that this is the moment of your power, so use this power in order to take off. Mental educational, maybe what you do is you say, what I want to do is I want to allow mentally, I want to allow more of the good stuff in, more godly thoughts in. And then physical and health. And so maybe you want to say, so I've been saying for the last 2 months that I want to intake more delicious and healthier food. And so I just said intake, that's whether I drink or eat or whatever it is. And so sure enough, I got this thing on apparently that, they say what's really helpful is this taking bones of, beef or chicken and cooking that up into this broth and then using vinegar on it, and the mother, I think it's called the mother of the apple, not apple juice, but the apple, I forgot the name of it. But anyways, you mix these things together. And I've been doing that for the last couple of days, and man, I feel even better than I already feel. Yeah, thank you, apple cider vinegar. Thank you very much. Yeah, apple cider vinegar. And then the mother is the best kind, I guess. It's called the mother, and it's on the label, and it says in big letters. But they say that's just healthy as all get out. But there's something in that bone marrow, and that just is very, very healthy for your body. And so they have a bunch of books, and my wife got a bunch of books, Sharon got a bunch of books and stuff on it. And so I went, oh, this is cool, so try that. And of course, I'm doing it more than she is. And but I just love that I just ask, and within, I've been giving indications all the time. I'm just where I eat, and I have this great little turkey sandwich place that I found now. And so I just allow myself to be led, that if we just are try spirulina or something. Yeah, okay, good, thank you. And so, but just to be led and know that when you ask, you'll be led, and you'll be given thoughts, and you all of a sudden make a left, and you all of a sudden find yourself in a cafeteria you've never been in before. You'll get these different ideas that come. But so back to physical and health, that you can make it general. I just want to become healthier. Don't say I want to lose weight, because it focuses you on weight, and then what happens? You get more weight. And so, do things like I want to be healthier, I want to intake healthier, more delicious food, and God will lead you to those things. Social and cultural. We've all been blessed with just so many wonderful things that we've been given, our health, our families, this amazing business, this amazing opportunity with EXP. We've been given all this, and what are we giving back? And so maybe it's just to be nicer to your neighbors and, say hi or drop by a little package or present or some food or a health drink or whatever that, or get involved in whatever you want to, whether, whatever makes you feel good. And again, I would suggest that you don't get involved in something that is pushing against something, that is fighting against something. Don't join that, because it's just going to get bigger when you fight against it. That what you want to do is be for things. So children's education, and, maybe the YMCA, or if you have a church that you like, whatever that is. But think about, what can I give back in June? And so it doesn't have to be a lot of money or a lot of stuff. Just what can I be back? Maybe I'm just going to be nicer to everybody, that I'm not going to be so judgmental, and I'm going to be kinder to everyone. And so it's just some thoughts. But again, I want you to answer those ideas and have God give you some ideas to write down there. And then spiritual and ethical. And so spiritual and ethical, that is, that maybe to recognize that you do have these angels, that you do have all that is, this universe, that God, and then when you ask, you are being answered. And remember, in the 5-step process of creation, that it's your thought turns to emotion, and then that emotion, that energy is sent out, that signal, and you are answered. Your prayers, your thought is received immediately and answered immediately. And so it's sitting in this energy form, ready for you to allow it, to aim it, if you remember last time, to allow, believe, and expect it. And when you do, then you're going to be living this life, and even a better life than what you currently have. So those are the different areas on personal goals to focus on, and then business goals to focus on this month. And so those business goals, attract ideal referral partners. And so, we've talked about ideal referral partners that hopefully in the last 2 weeks. In fact, does anybody want to share right now on a referral partner that you had, or any referrals that you've gotten in the last 2 weeks? I'm going to open that up, and you can talk if you want to put it on unmute and share with us and inspire, uplift us. This is kind of part of that social one, right? Inspire, uplift us on just the amazing out-of-the-blue opportunities happen with ideal partners or referrals that you got in the last 2 weeks. So who has something to share about that? Come on. Come on. Who has something to share? That, okay, then I'll share on somebody that, no, I'll share on for my own personal, that, I met a guy on LinkedIn, and so I'm really never on LinkedIn. I never use LinkedIn. I have, I don't know, like 4,800 people or something on LinkedIn, and I've never got any business, whatever. But I'm just in this allowing mood, sitting there, and I go to the LinkedIn app. So I had a few messages, whatever, and I see this one guy, and he responds back to me, and he goes, hey, I'm in the real estate industry, whatever. And so this guy ends up knowing 4,500 agents, and like a lot of agents, like these are some really good, high-powered agents throughout the United States. And so I said to him, hey, I'd like to meet. Where are you? Well, he happened to be just that day in Dallas. So I meet him, and he's okay, Satar gave one that he got a referral, and okay, his computer won't allow him. Hey, let me make sure that you guys on mute. You should be, but yeah, all of you are. You're all ready to talk. But I appreciate that referral. But so back to this referral that I have. So I get this. I meet this guy. We get along great, and he goes, "Hey, I'd love to help you with EXP." I shared with him the EXP story, and so he gave me a guy in Salt Lake City, and that guy in Salt Lake City now has 4 agents that have joined. And then we're going to have a seminar up in Salt Lake City in the middle of July. I mean, this whole thing has just blossomed huge, and it's all because I friended this guy, saw this guy, was a friend with him, said, hey, I'm in real estate too, and it led one thing to the next. But it just came out of the blue, and it was easy, and it's fun, and he's just a great business partner of mine. And then, and this guy that is in Salt Lake City, he actually just moved now to Houston, and so now he's going to, attract agents in Houston, and then his name's Mark, and so it's just like, unbelievable. And so I've had all these people join and everything over this one thing, but the fact is that it's because I am open to. I say, yeah, I'd like to. I attract ideal referral partnerships, and then what happens? That I get these amazing partnerships. And again, most people say, oh, well, you're already real connected, et cetera. No, I'm making new connections that are hotter connections, that are better connections than I had before, and they had nothing to do with my other connections that I had. And so it's like, just start asking for, I want more ideal referral partners. So business goals to focus on this month. It's an out of the blue. Good. Sakar is saying to me that, hey, you got out of the blue. And that's great that, it's an out of the blue lead that you have. That's a referral partner. So in fact, you bring up a great point, Sakar, and I want you all really to pay attention to this, that your greatest referral partner is God. Okay? That's who really your ideal referral partner is. Because when you ask, hey, I want an ideal referral partner, and then amen, and Linda says, yeah, amen, that God says, all right, I'll bring you this business. So God brought you like this leads program that I have that really is just exclusive, that I've been wanting to get into it for years. All of a sudden I have this opportunity to get in it, people that I know, and it's the best leads program that there is out there. And, it's a way for people to make, at least $9,000. And there's even better things to this, but I'm not going to go into any of the better things. But initially, it's $9,000 a month that you should be able to easily make, on this. But here we are, that who brought all that amazing opportunity that was brought to all of you, whether you want it or not, that it was, whether you allow it or not, that it was brought to all of you, and it was brought to me. And who brought it? It really, it's a God thing. It was all a God thing on how this did. And so that's who our ideal referral partner is. So if you want to, you can just say, hey, I love that God is my ideal referral partner, and is giving me all these things, and then that can go into the cooperative components, et cetera, on there. But so another business goal you may want, and so again, I want you to write down your business goals, but I've indicated some. I had a name keep coming into mind. I called them, and they wanted a list. Cool, Linda. So, so Linda just shared. I had a name come into my mind, and that's the exact whole thing that I've been, situation that I have been sharing with you, is to allow these thoughts from God to come in. So think of it as, so you ask, hey, I want an ideal referral partner. I want more referrals, right? That because you're asking for that too. I want more out of the blue clients and listings, more referrals. And so you're asking for that. And then all of a sudden, you have this idea of this person's name that comes to you, and that's exactly what happened. You didn't create it. It's a godly thought. And so Linda went and said, wow, this name is coming to me all the time. I'm going to call this person, and that person now is, I don't know the specifics, but, doing business somehow as either a referral partner or as a listing or some type of business, What is it, Linda? Can you type that in? And what did you get out of that? but anyway, she got some business out of it, okay? She got a business opportunity out of that. But the idea of this thought coming to you, and it's a godly thought that you ask, and then all of a sudden these thoughts come to you, and those thoughts, if you don't act on it, and that's the only time where action is. You know, a lot of people teach and say, hey, you got to act on it. And I say, don't be active. She was thinking, calling me to put their home on the market. So there she goes. She gets a listing. And so she went and called her, and sure enough that she gets a listing out of it. And that's how God works. God gives you these ideas. It's all thought that starts, and that thought then generates all of your experience. And there's just proof in the pudding right there on how it is. But back to this, oh, I got to, act on it. I got to work hard and stuff like that. Forget all that. That what you want to do, it's inspired action. When you get a godly thought, like, wow, all of a sudden I get this person's name, I'm going to go, call them. That's a godly thought, and that's where you're asking for a better feeling thought. That's a good feeling thought, isn't it? On having a person's name and you call them and they want to list their home with you. That's like an awesome good feeling thought. And so it's this idea of, hey, I want to play, I want to be at ease, and I want to just allow my well-being to come to me. Okay, and then you can ask for business goals, allow over $20,000 a month, expand my imagination. Okay, that, this is just a big one. Expand your imagination. The life you're living right now, I'm telling you, there's a bigger, better life for you, and God has it all waiting for you, and all you need to do is allow it in, and just start relaxing, start breathing, start expecting it to happen to you, and then be deliberate in your thinking and your feeling. And so there's nothing like just pay attention to your feelings. As long as you're feeling good, you're on your path, you're listening to God, you're in tune with God, you're aligned, walking with God, that when you're feeling bad, you aren't, and then you should change your thinking because you're not thinking about that subject the correct way. Now, this is on prioritizing, and basically this is where you take your top personal and business goals. And so I want you to write down, take your top personal and business goals, and say, hey, out of those top personal and business goals, that what do I want most? And so you may look at it and say, hey, what I want most is to have a deeper, more loving relationship with my significant other. And so that might be your first one. Or I want to attract harmonious people. Or I love the idea of allowing $20,000 or more into my checking account this month. And so just start, and some of them you can condense them, put them all together. So like under business goals, it might be that I want a thriving business this month, and just put it in general terms, and then be thinking, oh yeah, referral partners, and I want to allow thoughts, godly thoughts to come in so that I can act on those, and inspired action on those, knowing they're godly, that will lead me to my desires. And so maybe it's, maybe you had a few things on your family, and so maybe it's just have, a more loving relationship with all my family members. And so then you just would condense this into your top personal and business goals, and this will help you. Remember that normally it takes 6 times to be exposed to new ideas, and so you're writing down here new ideas or the ideas that you've expressed before, but you're writing them down, and by writing them down, it makes it more active, and then it starts becoming your what you want, your top personal and business goals. Then we get to high payoff activities. And so look at those high payoff activities, and so let's take a minute to write down those. And so the first thing that I recommend is something like pre-pave, deliberate thoughts, deliberate thinking. And so when you pre-pave, so now you're going to pre-pave your life in your joy shop. Because remember, in your joy shop, you read those good feeling thoughts that raises your vibration, raises your mental receptivity to godly thoughts of more of what you want. And then when you're at that point, then you start writing down, what do I want? So 3 things you write down in the joy shop. What do I want? And then you write down the different things. I want to be healthy. I want to be happy. I want a thriving business, whatever those things are. And then the second thing is what you appreciate. So in the last 24 hours, what do you appreciate? And so mentally, this is changing the way that you think. Instead of thinking about the stuff that's wrong and trying to fix it and trying to do the Father's work and trying to do the how, that instead you're at the appreciation. You say, wow, I just appreciate this and this and this. And that you'll see all your problems will start going away. All the ornery people will start leaving you as you do that. So just get into this mode. And so again, the number one high payoff activity is this deliberate thinking and pre-paving your life the way that you want it. And then in the Joy Shot, the third step, so first, you read the Joy Shot, get that higher vibration, write down what you want, write down what you appreciate, and then things have played out for you. Then the third thing is you pre-pave your day, okay, and make your day the way you want it. Another high payoff activity could be to see your ideal referral partners, and so, or to attract ideal referral partners and meet with, maybe attract and meet with ideal referral partners. Next one is to meet with clients and prospects. And probably the next one is follow-up, and that I want to do a good job on following up with my referral partners, with my prospects, and with my clients. And then the fifth one might be, I want to close. And so close and then referrals. So kind of the fifth one is, I'm going to close and ask for referrals. And they're going to become my referral partners because clients, there's nothing better than clients because they can say, yeah, I used them, that agent, you, and him or her, and yeah, I use them and they're really good. And the neighbors, and you can, attract all kinds, there's all kinds of opportunity out there. It's all a matter of you just allowing yourself to be guided where God guides you. So that's the high payoff activities. Oh, sorry, I had my eyes closed and I was just really getting into doing that Joy Shop, and I looked and, oh, I flipped it to then imperative project list. So think about in June, what do you have to do, okay? And so it's kind of a red zone thing, but you're living in the green zone, you're thinking in the green zone. But what project list do I have to do? You know what? I really need to write down all of the prospects, EXP agent prospects that I have, and I need to put them into some type of CRM program. Or an important project list, actually that one could be important where it doesn't have to be done, but if you do it, you'll be way more effective. And so, yeah, I want to share whenever I have some good news about EXP, I want to share with the people that I've already shared with, that I want to share that good news with them and put it on a CRM and send it out to them. So that way it's easy, and I can just touch these people because it's the greatest thing. In fact, I have, here I have written, I change people's lives. And so think about, with EXP, that I change people's lives, that I'm giving them the gift that keeps on giving. And for sure that does, and you do. You will be friends with them, and then they'll have this wonderful opportunity with EXP. So look at any imperative and important project list, and then your 1 to 31 tracking sheet. And so this one I gave you soft copy. I don't think it was in the binder, but you had that like in week 1. And so, for example, I'll give you my 1 to 31 tracking sheet, which is, again, in my time management system. But my first one under personal goals I have is breathe deeply. And again, you can just write this on any piece of paper on, hey, here's some daily activities that I want to make sure that I'm doing. So I want to make sure that I breathe deeply. My next one is raise my thoughts. And again, I would suggest you write these down as, or something like it, there to do it. Raise your thoughts. To pause, so during the day, I want you to pause and then ask yourself, what do I want most next? So what do I want most next? So it's like, wow, I want most next, like when you are off here, is that I want to, so let's say you're going to a meeting. What I want most next is safe and easy travels, smooth travels to my meeting, and then that meeting to go just the way that I want it, and for them to like me and me to like them. But see, as you become deliberate, you don't get liked by default. That's why most people don't think that they're deliberate creators, because they get life by default, because they don't call it the way they want it. And normally, the way they're calling it is saying things like, wow, I hope this doesn't go bad. Well, it doesn't go bad is what you're going to get more of. And so you don't want that. So you want to be deliberate and say, hey, this is going to be a rocking time. It's going to be great. They're going to love me. I'm going to love them. And so those are some personal goals. Business goals. You know, for me to, maybe you'd put, and based on our time this morning, maybe under business goals, maybe it's to allow God in. You know, it's to allow those thoughts in, those godly thoughts, those people that I should do, or an idea to go on LinkedIn and all of a sudden connect with this person, or, you know, the idea of whatever it is, some marketing idea. But when you get these godly thoughts, now thoughts that you get when you're all nervous and, gee, I need to do something quick to get my business going, good luck with those thoughts. Those thoughts won't get you anywhere because you're not connected to your source, and you're just using your smaller self, your lower thoughts, your analytical mind, if you will, and you really don't want to use your analytical mind. Your analytical mind is only there in order to identify what you want and why you want it. The how is God doing it. So under business goals, I have more fun. The other thing I have under business goals is to play more. Okay, and most people wouldn't do that. And so a more practical way might be to see a referral partner every day. Okay, and then you would, in the 1 to 31 there, and so today is the 7th. So if you saw a referral partner under the 7th in that little box, I'll do my arrow here, that under the 7th, you'd put like a 1 there. How do we refocus when we find ourselves in a panic phase? Yeah, what you do is you stop, and if you can't get off that subject, go take a nap, go take a walk, just enjoy yourself. We think like this is so critical and we don't get it, and that's just your committee working on you. And so I'm answering a question from one of you that just asked. And so that's what you do is when you're in a panic state, I want you to pause, breathe deeply, and if you can't think good thoughts about that subject, so let's say business isn't good, if you can't think about the business, go pet your dog. Go relax. Go take a nap. Go take a walk. Get out in nature. Nature's a great one. Because what will happen is you'll get reconnected with God, and all of a sudden, boom, you'll get an idea or you'll get a phone call. You know, in our last session, we had people that were getting leads, and we even did a deal right there at the end of the session where a loan officer, got a text saying, hey, I need a good real estate agent in such and such city. And then one of the agents sitting at the same table said, well, that's the city I do. And boom, it happened. Well, that's what's going to happen is when you just give it up to God instead of your own analytical mind, thinking like, oh, my God, this is a stress, terrible situation. Just forget that. None of this is stress and terrible. It's only in your own mind. Relax, breathe deeply, and then God will give you the answers to get you out of that and give you all that you want. Amen. So business goals, again, some practical things you don't want, hey, to see at least one referral partner every day. Yeah, so Kyle says, yes, amen, you bet, baby. And so focus on business goals and so, you know, what would I track? And so referral, one referral every day, to talk to 2 prospects every day. For real estate, to talk with 1 agent every day about EXP. If you put that down, God will all of a sudden lead you to, wow, I just happened to see an agent on Facebook. I'm going to connect with them. I've recruited 2 agents off of Facebook because all of a sudden I thought, oh my gosh, I know them. I forgot about them. They need to hear the good news. And so, you know, I talked with many people just off of, you know, doing like Facebook. But as you start saying to yourself, hey, I want to talk, like every day I'd like to talk to at least 1 agent about EXP, you'll find that you'll get one agent with EXP. Other business things to track that I want to do follow-up. And so it could be your 1 to 30, your high payoff activities. You just track your high payoff activities. Are you planning every day? Are you seeing a referral partner every day? Are you seeing prospects and clients every day, and how many? Put a number there. And so as you get very deliberate and intentional, that you'll start seeing that you'll just be able to use like your high payoff activities under business goals and the 1 to 31 tracking sheet. Okay, so now just our last steps here, and we'll be ending, but your success steps. That the first one, I'd like you to listen to Success Unit 4, Prioritizing Your Life, at least 6 times. That I'd like you to complete your monthly planning. So you have your monthly planning, and again, you have a 1 to 31 tracking sheet. You should have actually been using already, but it's in week 1 that I sent you, and you can find that, or let me know if you need it. Meet with at least one ideal referral partner this week. Watch this webinar, again, until you believe it, and do your Joy Shop every month, and contact me with any help that you would like. The other thing is that, again, I sent you an email. There's limited seating that you really need to be dedicated to making sure that you follow up with each lead at least 3 times each day, text, voicemail, or calling, and email. But you'll probably make $9,000 or a lot more. Most people make a lot more than that. And so, but you need to get back with me on what area you are, and then we need to check out the area. So this isn't for sure, but it's kind of like the process to see if you can qualify for this Amazing Leads program. And then if you do, then I'll give you the location where we're meeting 10 to 12 for that live Skype training. But we only have 6 outlets for Skype, so we're doing it in different markets. So we're doing one in Austin in that market in the room. So again, read that email, and if you're interested in that, just send me that information. And guys, I have loved our time together. That there is lots of powerful things. Okay, Sakar, way to be. Thank you for the email, and so there's we really went through some amazing things. Those 3 principles of life, a critical thinking, strategic way in order to start planning your life down, living more in that green zone. So I love you guys. Wish you all the best this week, that everything's coming to you. Know that everything's getting better and better. Next week we meet at the same time, next Wednesday, 10 to probably around 11:30 for our big graduation, if you will, and where we wrap everything off together. So with that, love you, take care, let me know if I can help you in any way, and all the best.